Picard's greatest Star Trek. The Next Generation episode changed Jean-Luc for the better. Captain Jean-Luc Picard is one of Star Trek's most enduring and complex characters, a paragon of diplomacy, intellect, and moral conviction. Across Star Trek, The Next Generation's TNG 7 seasons and subsequent appearances in films and Star Trek Picard, audiences have seen Picard evolve from a distant, principled captain into a deeply human and introspective leader. While many episodes contributed to his character growth, none shaped him more profoundly than The Inner Light. This singular TNG episode didn't just give viewers a glimpse into the heart of the man behind the Starfleet uniform, it fundamentally changed Jean-Luc Picard for the better. The Inner Light, A Journey of a Lifetime, airing in Season 5, Episode 25, The Inner Light stands as one of the most beloved episodes in Star Trek history, often cited as a masterpiece of science fiction television. In the episode, the USS Enterprise D encounters a probe that renders Captain Picard unconscious. In mere moments for the crew, but a lifetime for Picard, he lives out 40 years on the planet Kataan as a man named Kataan, a simple iron weaver with a family, a village, and a life that has nothing to do with space exploration or Starfleet. Through Kataan's life, Picard learns to play the flute, raises children, experiences love and grief, and watches his adopted world succumb to environmental collapse. When the simulation ends, Picard awakens on the Enterprise, but forever changed, haunted and blessed by memories of a life that was not his, yet was deeply real. The episode's final moments, Picard quietly playing the Resican flute, are among the most emotionally resonant in the entire Star Trek canon. A life rewritten in 25 minutes. In The Inner Light, Picard undergoes a transformation unlike any other in his long journey. Unlike the usual high-stakes battles, diplomatic negotiations, or ethical quandaries that dominate his responsibilities as captain, this experience is personal, vulnerable, and deeply emotional. For once, Jean-Luc is not tasked with saving a crew or maintaining interstellar peace. He is simply Kataan, a man grounded in community, family, and the rhythms of everyday life. This change of pace strips Picard of his commanding identity and replaces it with the fragility and beauty of ordinary existence. The weight of time, love, and mortality gives him a new lens through which to view the universe. The stoic leader who once guarded his inner life with discipline and restraint is opened up, emotionally raw, and spiritually awakened. The evolution of the stoic captain. When The Next Generation began, Captain Picard was portrayed as far more emotionally distant than his predecessor, James T. Kirk. He valued order, protocol, and decorum. He avoided children, maintained clear professional boundaries, and largely kept personal relationships at arm's length. While these traits made him a formidable leader, they also created a subtle barrier between Picard and his crew, and even between Picard and himself. The Inner Light cracked that stoic shell. As Kataan, Picard experienced joys and losses that connected him with the very emotions he often suppressed. He learned how to live a life filled with intimate connection, spontaneity, and appreciation for the simple pleasures, tending a garden, playing a melody, watching a child grow. When he returned to his role as captain, he carried these experiences with him, becoming more empathetic, more reflective, and more aware of the personal dimensions of existence. Legacy in Star Trek. Picard. The influence of the Inner Light didn't end with The Next Generation. In Star Trek, Picard, decades later, Jean-Luc is still visibly affected by the life he lived on Kataan. The Resican flute appears in his belongings, and the philosophical wisdom he gained as Kataan influences his decisions. Picard, now an older man, is shown grappling with regret, mortality, and legacy, issues first foreshadowed in that singular episode. In many ways, the themes of Star Trek, Picard, personal connection, redemption, and embracing vulnerability are continuations of the path that began in The Inner Light. The experience gave him a rare chance to see what a full life could look like outside of duty and starships. And while he ultimately returned to the stars, he never forgot the man he had been or the lessons he learned. A rare look at existential reflection. What makes The Inner Light such a powerful episode is how deeply it delves into the idea of identity and memory. Picard is not simply observing another life, he is living it. For all intents and purposes, Kataan is him for those 40 simulated years. that raises intriguing philosophical questions. Is identity shaped more by biology or experience? Can a lifetime of memories rewire who we are? For Picard, the answer seems to be yes. He emerges from the experience not just as a man who remembers Kammen's life, but as a man who feels it. The sorrow of losing his wife Eline, the joy of fatherhood, the frustration of environmental decline, all of it lives in him. The episode makes clear that those memories are not illusions. They are meaningful and transformative. And in a universe filled with alien artifacts and scientific anomalies, that emotional truth carries the most weight. Emotional storytelling at its best. Part of what makes The Inner Light so effective is its quiet simplicity. The stakes aren't cosmic, they're human. There's no villain to fight, no planet to save, no temporal anomaly to resolve. Instead, the story focuses on the intimate details of one man's life, told in poignant moments. A conversation under the stars, a child's curiosity, a melody repeated over the years. Patrick Stewart delivers one of his most nuanced performances, seamlessly transforming Picard from a bewildered outsider into a man wholly integrated into his new world. His pain when he learns that the world is doomed is palpable, as is his sense of peace when he realizes that the probe was a final message, a cultural time capsule meant to preserve a civilization's essence through one man's lived experience. It's no wonder The Inner Light won the Hugo Award for Best Dramatic Presentation and remains a fan favorite decades later. Changed for the better. After living Kammen's life, Picard returns to the Enterprise changed, not in his duties, but in his soul. He's more contemplative, more attuned to the fragility of life, and more connected to what lies beyond duty. Though he continues to command the ship with resolve and intelligence, there's a subtle shift in how he views the universe and those who inhabit it. He's more open to relationships, more comfortable with his past, and more willing to confront his humanity. That shift manifests in later episodes, and even in the TNG films, where he displays more emotional depth and a clearer understanding of what makes life meaningful beyond the confines of duty. Picard's greatest lesson. Ultimately, The Inner Light serves as Picard's greatest lesson that a life well lived is not measured in accolades, power, or control, but in love, legacy, and connection. He learns that no matter how vast the universe, it is the small, human experiences that leave the deepest imprint. Picard's story in The Inner Light is a microcosm of what Star Trek at its best aspires to be, not just a series about space exploration, but a meditation on what it means to be human. It doesn't rely on phasers or warp speed. Instead, it invites viewers to reflect on their own lives, the choices they make, and the memories they cherish. Conclusion: the legacy of Kammen lives on,